We interview everyday people like yourself that uplift and empower, shifting the narrative of news from a traditional negative experience to more impactful. Holistically original.
Yes. So the biggest piece was the pandemic. The pandemic just was a catastrophic blow to me. I was in the hospitality sales industry for 20 plus years. And when that happened, I had to make a decision that I want to go back to it and, reapply or try to apply for new jobs, or was my heart somewhere else? And I prayed on it, and this landed in my spirit, and I haven't let my foot off the gas since. So the basis behind my life coaching is to help individuals that are in a space of transition, because that is where I was during the pandemic. I was in a full space of transition. So that's what it's about. And I deal with, oh, bless you. I deal with my clients the whole piece of them, not just one piece of them. So mind, body, and spirit. And that's where the name Holistically Original came about.
And so when you say transitional life coaching, so are you helping, or do people come to you when they're between stages of their life, or just overall, like how does it work?
Actually, both. So people can be full throttle in their career, and then something drastic has maybe happened and they are unsure what they should do next, how they should move, what is the next step? They may not know what the next step is, especially if they're an individual that's been in this job or their industry for umpteen years, and now they're having to possibly do something new. They may not know how to get to doing something new, or maybe feeling stuck. You have that piece. And then you have individuals that are just unsure. They know they need to make a change. They are just unsure. How do I even get started? So when we start the conversations, it just really starts with simple questions, and you just start pulling back the layers.
So what is your ultimate goal with Holistically Original? Like, what are you trying to achieve, or if anything?
The primary goal is to help clients see their full potential. Overall, no hands down. Just, I want you to see that you can be the best of who you want to be. That person that you think about, that you dream about, that you feel is in there, they're there. And we're going to help you get there. So this is a complete partnership. It's not me telling you what to do. You actually have the answers. I just help you see them, or I help you uncover them. I help you rediscover them, because sometimes we forget how amazing we are as people. Like, we totally forget that sometimes. So in those conversations, in those sessions, I just let you know, or I kind of remind you, or I might point you in a direction so you can see it. Then you're like, Eureka, it's right here. And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. And it's been there, but you maybe hid it or just forgot about it. So, yeah.
And how do you feel that you and your service have impacted like clients and people who have come to you?
Right now, the impact has been great, because there's no denying how we have suffered as a global entity because of what has happened during the pandemic. People have really had an opportunity to see how they've been stretching themselves so thin, burning the candle at both ends of the stick. And that health piece is so important. So when I'm speaking with clients, speaking with potential clients, because I do offer complimentary sessions, my biggest thing is to tap into that and help them understand that your mental health is so much more important than anything that you think you need to do or anything you think you ought to do. If we are not pouring into our mental health, our self-help, that self-love, if we are not pouring into that, then we may be in a disastrous mode because of what we are still enduring. Like, we're not completely out of COVID. We're still in this semi-pandemic phase. So it's of the utmost importance that I help my clients see, and as we're partnering in this journey, that they're continuing to pour into their self, their health, their mental health, their self-health. And I just want to make sure that they understand that there are people out here, there are resources out here that can really help them get over the hump, because a transition is just that. It's a block. It's a block, and you have to figure out, how do I get over it, get around it, or go straight through it?
So when you're dealing with clients, is it more of a conversation, or how do you get to helping people realize their potential?
Perfect. Oh, perfect question. So a client can come into a session and they will either have something that they already know that they want to discuss, that's been a problem, an issue, or something like that. And we'll start the dialogue there. I'll start asking a few questions, and you'll be surprised how one question can make you stop and really think about what I just asked you. So now that I've made you think about it, you have to internalize that question and really figure out, what's the answer? Hold on, I already have the answer. I just kind of haven't been doing it. So then we put an action step behind it. So that's one piece. The other piece in that is helping clients to understand that sometimes they come into a session and they don't know what they want to talk about. And that's okay. But the dialogue starts and they'll say something, and Destiny, I'll pick it right out of the conversation and I'll say, hey, what I think I hear you talking about is this. Is this something you want to focus on today? And then we'll focus on that. And at the end of the session, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was an issue. And I'm like, ta-da.
So how has Holistically Original grown from since you started it until now? And like, what's the response been as it's been growing?
Oh, okay. How has it grown? So when you are an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, it is so important that you create your brand awareness. Creating your brand awareness can be how you talk to people, how you use your social media platforms when you're networking. So I do all three of those all the time, every day, some way, somehow I'm doing that. And in doing that, you constantly keep getting the word out about you, what you do, what services you offer. And then also, I'm a member with the ICF DC Metro chapter, which is the largest chapter of coaching, the coaching chapter in the world. We have over, I believe, 1,600 members. So being a part of that also gives me an opportunity to just not only talk about my business, but say, for instance, if you were a coach and someone came to you and you couldn't take them because your roster was full, now you can say, hey, I have Coach TL. This is her area. She can help you out. So it gives you an opportunity to meet, and also other coaches that know you, they can refer people to you. So that happens. Again, your social media platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn a lot. So LinkedIn, your Facebook page, Instagram, all of those platforms help you continue to create and make your business successful by letting people know you're creating the brand, you're getting the word out. So doing that, and things like this, letting people know how important, the mental health aspect is, because although I can't write a prescription, or, I'm not a therapist. As life coaches, we are not therapists, but we do fall under that umbrella of mental health. So this is a perfect platform that's giving me a voice, as well as my industry a voice, to say, we are here to help people. And that's how it happens. It's just continuing to let people know that this is important.
So when you're offering your services, do you have in person, like, are you located somewhere that people can find you, or are you strictly virtual?
Right now, I'm strictly virtual. So, but I can work with anyone anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you're on the West Coast, if you're in the UK, if you are up in Alaska, it does not matter. We will work out a time that works best for you and it works for me as well. And we'll get on a call virtually. We do our calls. So I offer my clients two options. They can either do 2 sessions with me per month, or they can do 3 sessions with me per month. And at the end of the day, I am the type of coach, this is about you, the client. So I make the space for you to be safe. And then you create the space. I tell you it's here, you create it, and we go from there. But for right now, everything is virtual.
Do you have any plans of expanding to being in person or having like an office?
I've actually thought about that. And my thing is, when I think about having an office, I just need to be sure that the demand is there and that people want to come out to go to an office. For clients that are based in the DC area, maybe this spring or summer, if they decide that they would like to have a coaching session in the park, because it's a beautiful, tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, coach. Do you mind meeting me in the park? I would not be against that, because if that's going to help us have an amazing coaching session, then I'm all for that. Once again, I'm here for my clients. It's not about me. It's about me being here for them. So that's definitely a possibility to do it. But of course, if you're remote, if you're in a different time zone or something like that, we would have to stay virtual. But if it's someone here in the area, I'm open.
So I want to jump back to something you said, because my question that I was going to ask you are, what are some misconceptions about what life coaches do and having a career as a life coach? And you said that you're not a therapist. So the first thing, it's kind of a two-parter. What are
Okay.
some more misconceptions about life coaching? Because when I went to do this interview, I kind of had in my mind what I thought a life coach was. It's kind of like the TV person. He's like screaming at you, like, you can do this, you're great. So, what are some misconceptions about life coaches? And then on top of that, what's something that you want people to know about life coaches?
Okay. Well, the first thing I definitely want people to know about life coaches is every coach is different. Hands down, every coach is different. We all have our different coaching styles. We all are held to certain standards under, our core competencies under the International Coaching Foundation. But once you understand those core competencies, you should be the coach that you are. Not, I can't be Coach Destiny. I can only be Coach TL. So that's the first thing. And every coach is not for every person. So you will meet some coaches that are just not for you. And some coaches will meet some clients that are just not for them. And that's totally okay. If you all don't jive, that's fine. A great coach, though, will try his or her best to put you in front of a coach that will work with and for you, that you will like. And that's the sign of a good coach, in my personal opinion. Misconceptions. As a life coach, I can tell you what to do. As a life coach, I can recommend that you do this and that and the third. Now, as a life coach, it is not my job to tell you what to do. However, during our sessions, I can ask you, hey, can I tell you a story? Or would you mind if I gave you this piece of information? So I can give you information, and I could also provide a reflective moment, or maybe something that happened to me, or, pertaining to the topic of discussion. But it is not my job as your life coach to lead you in the journey. So my coaching style, I partner with my coachees or my clients. It's my responsibility to partner with them, and we co-create how those sessions look. And this is what I mean by example for co-creation. If you want to talk about boundaries, if boundaries is your topic, you want to talk about boundaries. As your coach, I'm not going to tell you, well, Destiny, you should have done this, or you should have done that. Or, when someone's talking to you, you make sure That's not what Coach TL is going to do. Coach TL is just going to ask you a few questions. And as you start answering those questions, Destiny is going to know, ooh, Destiny, I should have did this, or ooh, Destiny, I should do that. So to clear up a misconception, coaches are not going to tell you like what you need to do. A good coach is not going to tell you what you need to do. A good coach is really going to just ask the right questions, and in your responses, you will tell yourself what you need to do. And then that becomes the action step for you. And also we can't, like I said, we can't write prescriptions and tell you, hey, you should take this type of medicine. We can't do that type of stuff either. So I hope I cleared that up for you. Did I clear it up for you?
You did.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing life coach with motivational speaker. I don't know. Maybe.
No, but don't get me wrong, Destiny. And like I said, again, every coach is different. So for me, let me just take myself, for example. When I speak to my clients, I read off their energy. So I pay attention to it can be something so small when I ask you, how was your day today? And you can say, oh, it was okay. I'm going to read that and be like, what's going on? Tell me about what's going on. And then if we're having this conversation and I feel like you did something great and you need to be celebrated, I'm going to celebrate you. Yay, Destiny, that's what I'm talking about. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm so happy for you. You know, what are you taking away from that? What are your gems in this? So I'm going to celebrate you as well. But at the end of our conversations, at the end of the sessions, I always find myself pouring into my clients. I always find myself giving them just a little bit of love, just to let them know, hey, I believe in you. You're doing good work. I'm proud of you. So that is a motivational piece. But at the end of the day, their homework or their action steps is all up to them, because once we finish the call, they have to do the work. And that's the thing. They do the work. Your clients are doing the work. And that's the most gratifying part. Once you come back and you talk to your client, either the next week or whenever your next session is, and you guys do a quick recap of how that time was since you didn't talk, and they just start reading stuff off. I did this, I did that, I took care of this, this is done. It's so rewarding as a coach. It's very rewarding because you're starting to see the change, and that's what you want.
So as a life coach and a growing life coach, what are some challenges as well as some successes that you faced along the way?
Being new in the industry, of course, a life coach is just like a basketball player that wants to go to the NBA, or the football star that wants to go to the NFL. There are 1,000 people out here doing the same thing. But what makes you different? That's the biggest thing. What makes you different? What makes you stand apart from Destiny or Charles? You have to figure that out. And then you also have to know that you are enough. That for me, I'm learning that I am enough. I'm giving my clients 150%. I'm dedicated to them. I'm keyed into them. And I'm doing these things because I am making my mental health important. So that's a plus. As a growing coach, I'm new to this, but as a growing coach, I have a life coach. A coach should have a life coach. Anyone listening to this interview, if you are working with a life coach and your life coach does not have a life coach or a mentor coach, you might want to rethink them. And I'm saying that because they need to make sure that they are still being held accountable and that they are pouring into their own mental health. So I'm being a student of what I'm practicing, right? And that's important. So although I don't have the years, like my mentor coach, she has 20 plus years in the industry. I don't have the years, but I have the desire and I have the drive. And most of my family and friends have told me I should have been doing this a long time ago. This is what I was meant to do, but I just didn't know it. So going full circle to your question, it's just feeling confident in this new skin, feeling confident and feeling comfortable and knowing that the work that I'm doing, it's for the betterment of people. It's really for the betterment of people because we have to do better. We have to do better. We have to love each other more and encourage each other more. So that's kind of what's setting me apart from maybe some of my other coaches that are out here. I really care about the people that I work with and that I'm coming in contact with. It just makes me feel good.
I really like the fact that you use the word desire. And so with desire and with your desire, how far are you hoping to take Holistically Original?
Oh, good question. Well, in the coaching world, you have the ACC, which is like your associate coaching credit. Then you have PCC and you have MCC. Once you get to the MCC status, you're a master coach. And as soon as I finished my program with Coach U, I immediately was like, I want to be a master coach. Immediately. I hadn't even started coaching or practicing or anything. I had just told myself that I wanted to be a master. And I've never wanted something so bad. When I was in sales, I enjoyed being a sales manager, but I never had a desire to be like a senior sales or a director of sales and marketing. That was never really my jam. I just wanted to work with people. But now I want to be a master coach. And that's important to me, that I'm driven to do that because it will say to myself, you have poured everything that you could possibly pour into yourself to show up for your clients. And that benefit of you pouring into yourself that way will be the best benefit that your clients will receive, because my clients are my focal point. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the betterment of the people that I work with or that I come in contact with. So it's that type of desire for me to be able to help, my fellow human. That part is so important. The pandemic changed my whole mindset of how I look at life. So helping my fellow man is very important to me right now. So important.
That's great because I feel like a lot of people became more self-interested within pandemic. And so the fact that with this happening, you're reaching out to help others, it's a beautiful thing. So what's something that you want for readers to take away from your story when they get a chance to read it?
I want them to understand that try to be different. Try to stretch yourself outside of that box that you've been in. Push yourself to those limits that you don't want to go to. Be okay with getting uncomfortable to get comfortable, right? And understand that fear is a 4-letter word. My mother taught me a long time ago that fear is false evidence appearing real. I've never forgotten that. I really want people to know and understand that their health is not false. Their well-being is not false. And it's nothing wrong with pouring into your mental health at this point in time. In 2022, Destiny, it is so important that we pour into our mental health. We need to start having more good stories out here than bad stories. And that's what I want. I want to try to get people to understand that working with a life coach or working with a business coach, because life coaching, there's so many different areas. You have weight coaches, business coaches. I'm a transitional life coach. You have marital. It's so many different avenues. It's not a bad avenue to travel down. And I would love people to give it a try, because again, I offer 60-minute sessions and complimentary sessions. And a few people that I've spoken to in those sessions, once we are finished with the session, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was an issue for me. Or some other people have tapped into something from when they were children that they've been carrying with them for over 20 or 30 years. It's time for us to start repairing. That's what I want people to know, that life coaches can help you do some real serious repair work, and you're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. So anybody that's seeing this, I want you to give yourself an opportunity just to pour into yourself, just to love on yourself just a little bit more. It's nothing wrong with asking for help, and it's nothing wrong with receiving help. So that's the message that I hope that anyone seeing this video would take away. Just pour a little bit, just a little bit.
That's great. It really is. Especially to start off my Monday, like that was some good advice to take away.
Yeah.
So in closing, this is my last question for you. Is there anything that you feel that I missed that you just want to get out there about yourself, Holistically Original, or anything that you feel like we didn't touch on?
No, one thing I do want to say is, if you're interested in trying a coach, several coaches, not just myself, most coaches do offer a complimentary session, whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes. Try it. Try it out. Just try it out for yourself. Go in with an open mind and give yourself an opportunity to just see how it works. You may surprise yourself. So I'm not saying that you have to reach out to Coach TL at Holistically Original. Reach out to, there's so many coaches out here. So reach out to a coach and just try a session. You may be surprised, but I am grateful for this chance of speaking with you on this beautiful Monday morning and having the opportunity to tell people that we are out here as coaches and we want to help you. We want to partner with you. We want to be there to
Thank you for listening. Continue to listen and support our journalism at WeINSPIREmovement.org. Hit us up on all our social media for daily inspiration. Nothing but the good news.